Start recording. Start streaming. We are live. We're as live as we
Welcome
get.
back.
It's almost weird saying welcome back. Been a full year. All right, we are good to go.
It's a full year since we've been streaming. Not since we last streamed, but since we've been streaming.
Yeah.
Live.
We are live. Let's hope so, right?
I certainly feel alive. I was actually watching our stream last week, and it sounded really good, even over Discord. So hopefully it sounds good this week too. Hopefully he can still hear me.
Oh, yep. Sorry. Not Discord, the other one. Mixer just signed me out. So we'll just assume that we are live. That's a safe bet, right?
Your YouTube is definitely live.
Yep, YouTube's live with the correct date. Just no description. Best news about the YouTube is I am still on the YouTube Classic streaming. I do not have to have that new creator update.
I don't either yet. Actually, I think I might. Yeah, I think the button to go back to Classic is gone for me.
Really? So here's what mine is. It should be fine to share. I'm still in Classic.
Nice. Yeah. Classic button is gone, which is interesting because our channels are probably about the same age. Mine would be a little bit older.
Yeah, yours is definitely older
than this channel. And I definitely have more videos up.
And you definitely have more subscribers and more views and more watch time. Let's not get into that part.
But I have to move up to the next version. I can't use Creative Classic. Well, gotta learn how to use now. We've got quite a few topics tonight. First off is a terrible topic. Well, the topic's not terrible, but Skype has been terrible. Skype has been terrible for so long that people aren't even considering it. Zoom incident happened this week. Yeah.
Are you done? All right.
Sure.
Oh, okay. You stopped on Skype?
Yep.
Okay. Facebook is trying to track more than just people now. Has a really cool idea on tracking the COVID virus, which is kind of useful. And it's asking every Facebook user questions like, are you infected? So it's a user input, which is totally not legitimate. Self-driving cars, apparently it's getting harder for getting drivers to sit in the cars. They don't want to sit down. And I think they're wrong. I think this is the best time to get self-driving cars out on the road when you have the least amount of drivers in a given time.
Your voice activation is really weird on Discord.
I don't think it's set up.
Really bad for me.
Uh-oh.
I'm sure you can be heard fine on stream, though.
Let's see.
Con.
I'll see if I can get it changed.
Yeah. Then we've also got, according to 9to5 Mac, Apple VR, which if you haven't heard of NextVR is something that allows you to use your VR headset to sit in either the arena of a sporting event or like a comedy show, or you could go to a concert. And the way it works is they have a 3D or probably up, or maybe even multiple cameras set up near the stage. So you pop on your VR headset and it'll be like you're sitting in the arena yourself. So we'll talk about that. Edge, Microsoft Edge is now the second most popular desktop browser. Obviously, there's a game that just came out that I've been watching a little bit of that is interesting, but flaws, called Last Oasis. and I sent Nephew Tech a video on that earlier today.
I did watch it.
So
research has been done.
it's nice. We'll talk about that. I thought that, well, we'll talk about that when we get to it. New York City schools stopped using Zoom because of Zoom, not photobombing, but Zoom bombing. And Microsoft is starting to take advantage of that. And finally, Nintendo customize their Switches. It looks like now it's mainly just the colors of the Switch, the Nintendo Switch, but step for sure. Did you find the setting?
I'm just turning off all the settings, which is a terrible idea. They have to do
one
with
setting up. You see that green and red bar or green bar?
Yeah.
There should be a slider that you can move to the left, or maybe you can
You may turn my input volume
deselect
down?
the automatically determine input sensitivity. Uncheck that automatically determine input sensitivity. Nope. Automatically determine inputs. There you go. And then slide. Yep.
And then
slide that
just
bar to the left.
All the way to the left?
All the way to the left.
Are you sure? That's a lot of left.
And then I should be able to hear you.
And then you should be able to hear me plenty well. It's like magic.
Yeah, that's much better. Sweet.
Sweet.
So those are our topics for tonight.
I forgot you could see my screen.
Oh yeah, I can see your screen. I don't think everybody else could.
No.
But you never know.
Yeah. No, I always share my screen with people. I'm nice.
Also, I think my internet connection probably isn't giving us any help either, so there's that.
Well, if it makes you feel better, we've dropped 7% of our frames, so it's not like it's the best stream tonight. But we'll see how it goes, right? Can't change it now.
You want to talk about the Zoom bombing first, and then lead that into Skype?
Sure. Zoom bombing it. Number 8. Here we go. So I saw this article from some other site and skipped over it. I didn't think it was all that interesting because I don't fully understand it.
So you know what photobombing is, right? When you're taking a picture and then crashes your photo by posing or whatever. Well, Zoom bombing is similar, except for instead of someone joining your photo, they are joining your video.
Oop, I lost you. Nope, your audio's gone.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes.
Okay, cool. Bombing. Well, obviously, a lot of schools have been using Zoom recently because everyone's schooling from home. And Zoom bombing is if someone pops into like a school classroom Zoom conference or a work conference or whatever it is, and either they maybe saying a lot of stuff in there and distracting everybody, or posting there was an interesting word they put here. Where is it?
But it's essentially exactly like photobombing, but during a Zoom call.
Exactly. Yeah. It says they use it as a platform to harass viewers, posting shocking images and using. And these incidents were reported to have occurred in online classes, corporate gatherings, and even a virtual Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. And then there's also an issue with Zoom apparently sharing some info from Facebook or accessing Facebook info too, which I didn't. But possibly a privacy issue and just not efficient for your time.
Yeah. Which leads us great into the other topic number 2. Skype has been terrible for so long, people aren't even considering it, and Microsoft notices. So it's interesting with this one. If the web page loads. There we go. The advertising, the new ads for Skype are in a completely different direction. Because at one point, Skype was mostly focused on the business. They didn't want end users. It felt like it was Skype is for business. Skype is professional. And now it's Skype is easy enough for your grandmother to use. and it feels like they really changed directions. And so
Yeah,
they
that
have
is a very
these-
different branding.
Yeah, they have these new ads, easy video meetings with no signups or downloads. You can do it straight from your browser. So it's
Which is very convenient.
Yeah, we could have tried this on Skype tonight.
Yeah, it might have worked better than Discord, actually.
Yeah, it's interesting because you can create a unique one-click link to share with your participants. So it's as easy as just sharing a link. And then it says full set of features at your disposal. The way they word it, though, it's not the full set of Skype features. So it's like a set of features. So it might not be the same as the paid version of Skype. I have no idea. And then your link doesn't expire. So if you do a weekly podcast, you could use the same link week over week.
The same link, kind of like how we use the stream key.
Yeah,
we don't have to change it in our other software. Yeah, we only changed it last week because we might have accidentally shared it.
We definitely shared it. It was on screen.
And this is Skype's attempt to retake that market that Zoom has taken over the past few weeks. And
Zoom,
I think they're going at it with the right direction. Going browser-based is the way to go because it is super convenient.
Yeah, yes it is. It's also nice that if it's as simple as they say it is. Because that's the one part I didn't like about Zoom was a customer this week asked for some help. And I was like, I have no idea how Zoom works. Never used it.
Generally, I would say the most difficult thing is setting up your microphone and setting up your headphones, in which we actually had some issue with that with Discord a little bit earlier. But that's because him being able to hear me and the stream being able to hear me.
Yeah, that's a couple more steps in there.
Yeah. So it's convenient not to have to download an app, but your grandma's still going to have to go through the microphone setup and the headphone setup, which is, in my opinion, the difficult part.
Now, like, when I had downloaded Skype a long time ago, it did a wizard for you. So you just had to pick it from a drop down. I don't know if it's that easy still, but at one point it was really easy. I'm thinking...
Is that for the install process or setting up your mic and headphones?
That was definitely the install process on the Skype download, not the web-based.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
It was a lot easier than Discord, where Discord didn't have a wizard to guide you. It was just like settings, and it takes you 10 minutes to find the settings button in the bottom left corner.
That old gear icon.
It's somewhere. So this next one, number 4. Automated cars. Apparently, according to some companies, when the site loads, there we go. Zoox, which is apparently autonomous vehicle company, it's having trouble with its drivers, and it laid off everybody. Now, they say it's not a standard layoff. The layoff, they say they'll rehire after this whole pandemic situation gets worked out. One of the interesting things is that I wonder if they're laying them off so they can file for unemployment. That's one idea, is that I care for my employees. So it's a way to get around a loophole, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with what you said earlier, though, about this being the perfect time to test self-driving cars. There are less cars on the road, which you can do testing on a track anytime because it's a controlled environment. But in the real world on a track.
Yeah, a track doesn't have those mispainted lines or multiple painted lines where they've moved the road over from the shoulder. And there's a lot more variables in the real roads where...
Yes, for sure.
They could emulate it on the track, but it would be a lot quicker to learn it on a real road. Jump head first. Nothing can go wrong, they say. So it looks like they've halted most of their testing. It says Zoox has the intention to resume testing and normal business practices, and will need your efforts into getting back on track. So looks like they're just basically shutting down, waiting for this to pass over, and then get back into it. Which, I mean, it's not the worst idea if money's tight and there's not many other options.
Yeah, it's not, but you would. I guess maybe they can't do a lot of their stuff working from home because they probably do have to be around the cars and able to actually interact with the cars. Those pure software and working from home with.
Yep. So it says that they had 50 test vehicles registered in California, as well as a smaller fleet in Las Vegas. So they have like 75, 80 cars or so, I'd assume. So that could be essentially 80 backup drivers, because that's what it looks like they fired, was someone who just sits in the car in case it freaks out to take control.
It's like somewhere that you could isolate yourself.
Yeah. I just thought it was different, because I would have figured this would have been the prime time, not the downtime for automated cars.
Yeah, I agree. That or work. Perfect time to do road work when no one's on the road.
Yeah. It's good those construction jobs done. So Apple is moving to virtual reality, you say?
That's what I say. To Road to VR, according to 9 to 5 Mac, Apple may acquire NextVR, which, like I mentioned in the intro, if you haven't heard of NextVR, like myself until today, what NextVR is it is virtual reality live streaming of actual events. So it's not necessarily like Twitch, cable TV with VR tied in. So I think if you go to the actual NextVR website where it says there's a second link in there, the first image that you see is a underneath a basketball basket, and you can see the basketball game playing, and like you're on the front row in your VR headset. And the cool thing that I found out is that you can pretty much bring your own VR headset and use with the tool.
What was that last sentence?
Which is pretty convenient.
You can bring your own VR headset?
Headset. You won't have to buy Apple's VR headset. You don't currently have to buy NextVR's headset.
So you can just use.
I'm not sure. Yeah, exactly. So you can see this. It's like you're really there. You're really there watching the players walk by, like you have a front row seat. There's the basketball I was talking about.
Okay.
An insert cool. Too.
Yeah.
Or like a comedy show. Yep. So there you go.
And then you would assume that it's 360 or 180 or something, so that you could.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's 360, and it wouldn't surprise me if there's like multiple views too, where you can switch between different seats or.
That would be the coolest part, I think, would be able to switch between seats.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, all the big players seem to be moving towards VR and or streaming platforms. Like Apple's already got their streaming. Microsoft is using Mixer now as their streaming platform, but the VR streaming platform is kind of a new thing to me. So we'll see where that.
Yeah, no, this is really cool. I kind of want to look into it after the stream. To me, it's very interesting.
Yeah, I don't have a VR to me, but it is pretty.
Get one.
Got to drop that $500.
And get another computer.
Yeah.
So Edge is the second most popular desktop browser.
Of course, Chrome.
Hallelujah, Chrome.
Yeah. So I was surprised when I read this because I assumed that the only reason that Edge was the second most popular browser was because it was the Windows. But as it turns out, Edge still isn't the Windows default, but it's
Yes, it
still
is.
the second biggest browser.
Isn't it?
The article says Google Chrome still has the third paragraph.
Google Chrome still
Yep.
has
There.
commanding lead at nearly 70% of the market, but Edge now sits at 7.59%. Wow, that's not even close. That's up considerably from 5.2% from March 2019, and a very impressive accomplishment for a browser that's been available for just 3 months and isn't the Windows default quite yet. All right, we're going to take a risk and hit quite yet, see what happens.
It may be that the Chromium version isn't quite the default.
Oh.
Maybe the old Edge is still the default.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, one thing that's missing in this article is anything that tells you the advantage over Chrome.
Oop,
because from what I've seen, one thing that this article is missing is any reason that you should. Because this article doesn't say anything about why you should switch to Edge. It seems to me like Edge is just built on Chromium. Why not just use
Chrome?
Yeah.
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 No, that's a good point. I mean, I use Chrome on literally every computer I have because it works. It's always worked. And it will always work as long as Google continues to put in that minimal effort needed. But yeah, no, I am kind of surprised. Unless, I could have sworn the Chromium version pops up on new Windows 10 installs now. What is this? Edge, Chromium, now default. Maybe it's not yet. I don't think so.
I don't know.
Well, tomorrow I will install Windows 10 on a blank computer and I'll find out.
Speaking of finding out, you're about to find out who this video is sponsored. This video is sponsored by JMart Media and Nephew Tech.
Yeah. Go us. All right, we're skipping all the way down. Number 7, the Oasis game. This weird link you sent me.
Yes. So pull up their website or something. Their website's not really very complete at all.
Kind of like their game.
Gameplay trailer down there. And I would say, well, actually, this week has been my first week watching Shroud, who is a pro gamer, play some of this game. Because the game seems pretty interesting. It reminds me of a game, pretty open world concept. Kind of reminds me of Minecraft, or, well, not really Minecraft, but Rust. Have you seen?
Yeah, it does. It does remind me a lot of Rust.
Is this the kind of game that you would be interested in at all? Because I know you were into Minecraft, but is this building survival world type stuff? Is that?
So I am into Minecraft. I actually got my server back up yesterday and got all the data packs installed last night. Brother did all the data pack stuff, but he got it all working last night. So the server for Minecraft is up and running if you'd like to join. But so I am still interested in that. I really did like 7 Days to Die. I really like that zombie game. And I've debated on going back and playing it.
And 7 Days to Die was voxel based or whatever too, right? Where you could destroy the
Yes.
blocks.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
which is a
voxel-based.
big difference from this game.
Correct. Because that was one thing I didn't like about Rust was it was not like voxel. It doesn't even have to be voxel based. It just has to be like a unit base. Like so, when you set something down, you're not fidgeting to set the next part down right beside it. Like I want it just to all snap together. That's one reason I didn't like Fallout 4. I think it was. It was just it felt clunky to build the little base stuff. I didn't like it.
Gotcha. That makes sense. This game is very open. World is massive, and it's also PvP based, which it looks interesting, but I don't think it sounds like if you're playing by yourself, you're just going to get insta-wrecked in PvP.
Yeah.
From watching, you should have a big group, otherwise you're just going to get instantly demolished by a team, which is a big downside to a game like this, and really hard to overcome. And then also things like stream sniping is tough for the big streamers, and looks like a super interesting game, not for me.
Yeah, like if they offer like a free week or something, I might try it. But otherwise, I really don't see myself spending money to try the game.
True. Yeah, it's kind of expensive too for an early alpha. It's $30, which is kind of high.
Now, can you?
And
buy
a lot of the
through...
Steam reviews. It's on Steam. I don't know if you can buy it anywhere else right now, but a lot of the Steam. The first 20 levels are fun when you're in the low level area, but as soon as you get to level 20 and you get into the next level, and at that point you've already put in more than 3 hours, so you can't return the game, which is a bummer.
I was about to say, I've bought several games on Steam where I've played it for 30 minutes or so. It's like, nah. I don't like Fallout 4. I did buy that one. I was like, not doing it.
Ratings are really going to suffer because of that too, because you have to have a group to play it.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be really hard for a lot of gamers because having a group
for sure. I agree.
Last article, number 9 that I know of.
And the Facebook one, number.
Ooh, yes. Well, if I can click on the right link, it would be fantastic. There we go.
Friends at Facebook.
Facebook begins sharing more location data with COVID-19 researchers and asks users to self-report symptoms. So I feel like it's a good, honest idea, which is kind of weird to say Facebook has a good, honest idea. But I don't see it working out. I don't know. I don't have that much hope in humanity on being honest on the internet.
If they provide users with a good enough confidence that their data is anonymized, there's really no reason for users to lie. Now, that's not to say, but if it is truly anonymous, which you could question that, it doesn't really give you a reason to lie. Your symptoms, that's a totally different thing, but
yeah. And then one part I would be curious on is that if something like this, if this is the one off on where like, oh yeah, I don't mind telling you my symptoms for this, but then the false positive rate for people who just have the really bad allergies because it's 80 degrees and windy outside, and the people who do just have the common cold. So I'm curious on how effective it is if everyone's just saying like, today I feel like this.
It depends on the questions they ask.
Yeah.
As can be, and can they make the questions detailed enough so that a normal non-healthcare user can actually answer the question if that makes sense. Like a question could be, have you been sneezing excessively over the past week and a half? And if they say yes, that's or coronavirus. That's a symptom for allergies, especially in the summer. So it depends on how good their questions are.
The one cool thing I think that could come out of this is after the facts, if we're still around as a species, right? Seeing the infection map on watching it grow. So like you see it in New York, and then you see it get darker and bigger, and then you see it make jumps as people travel, and seeing like the infection. I think that'd be really cool.
Spreads out.
Yeah, I think that'd be a really cool little animation. But otherwise, that's all I see it as.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. It's hard for me to take anything with Facebook wanting to do good. Look, they call it the company's Data for Good program.
That's what I would name it too.
Yeah. But we don't know if it's good or not until it's too late, so I try.
But one thing that is good, as long as you don't have joy, and as long as you like the Nintendo Switch.
And you live in Japan.
The Nintendo Switch. And you live in Japan, yeah. And you like colors. You're not color.
So Nintendo lets Japanese gamers build their own Joy-Con controller schemes. Color schemes. Yeah,
yep.
That's the word.
Really not all that exciting, but if colors are really your remote. One thing that I did find interesting, I haven't seen this little 3 and 4 in that image. I hadn't seen those at all. I guess those probably controller more
comfortable.
And
yeah, that or the good.
Is only a hardware button that presses the other button. There's probably not even any electronics in that little number 3 and number 4 would be my guess.
I'm curious if it's just to connect the controller to the screen, if it's just like a little. But then when you say it also has a wire. So it could just be a wire add-on. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're talking to the two guys who don't know Nintendo Switches, right? So one cool thing I would like about this is families that have multiple kids. This way each kid can have like their own controller colors if you would like it that way.
True.
Like, I always played with the orange GameCube controller. That was like my controller. And then we got an Xbox 360 and everyone just had black controllers across the board. It's not as fun. It would be cool to see them add like marble colors or like fading colors, or so instead of just having purple, you can have a purple fade to pink or something. I think that'd be kind of fun, but it is nice to see that they can control which colors their Joy-Cons are.
Yeah, it's something nice for the users, and maybe it'll get them some more money.
Yeah.
At least from Japan. Shit,
never...
worldwide eventually.
Yeah, it'll definitely be worldwide. Maybe for their next console, the Nintendo Switch U or something.
Nintendo Switch us.
Yeah. Hot dang. That was a fast one. We blew through 8 real topics in the 34 minutes.
8? Yeah, 8. Our 9th topic was just that it's been a year since we've been streaming.
1 year. It's hard to believe.
2 streams. That's pretty crazy. That's a different way to think about it. 52 streams.
Yeah. And somehow we're still doing it. Wouldn't have guessed it. One thing I am looking at possibly doing, because chances are we probably won't be streaming side by side for a good while. I don't see this going away anytime soon, is to move all my stuff back into my room, and so I can have my so I can play games and
your
talk
full triple monitors.
Yeah, instead of having a dedicated room for streaming to have, because there's not enough room to put me and you in my room, but there's enough room for me and a camera.
Yeah, for sure. And then you don't have to move your. Are you using a webcam or are you using the DSLR?
Right now I'm using DSLR. I just rotated it and zoomed in as far as it would go.
Yeah,
it makes me way bigger. But yeah, I might end up either taking it to my room and setting up with the big setup, or possibly taking it to work and streaming from work.
Oh, good point.
But I don't know yet, so we'll find out live next week, right?
We'll see you next week for stream 53.
53, 57, 208. They're all the same. They're just numbers. You know the best part about this new setup with you not being physically here is I can keep this stream going as long as I want.
You can. But I could disconnect.
Oh, crap, you can. All right. Well, I'm ending the stream right